And Chair, of interest to me is this questionnaire. And looking at it, I think it's one of those that are so well done, given what without disclosing what we've been, perusing before. And therefore, my compliments to you, Madam Angote, for a job well done. This particular one, Chair, I want to draw attention of our members to the issue of conflict of interest. I read and I thought maybe even Parliament going forward, we could borrow a leaf as to how we can develop a policy on issue of conflict of interest. Chair, I have a question, given I have no doubt in terms of the candidate or the nominee's ability, even from the narrative that she's given.
Chair, let me also start off by declaring my interest that I know Gertrude, we've worked very closely with her in civil society. And that is not the reason why I was raising the issue about whether the statement, the question that was being raised is fair, because it's a question which is you are doomed if you do or you are doomed if you don't. And the reason is because when you get into Mau Mau, you are getting people in very murky waters, especially since he's a Mau Mau supporter. So I just thought it was a bit unfair. Yeah, Chair, I just wanted to say, I don't want to ask a question, but I just wanted to comment that it's important when we are doing our appointments that we get a correct fit. I can see all the members here nodding. Since we started, at least the ones have been able to. And part of the reason we are nodding is because we picked a person fit for the job. If you look at her CV and what she's going to do. And the challenge we are facing is sometimes you get Millie Odhiambo as an ambassador to represent men. Poor fit for the job. I will not represent the human rights of men. Just let me represent human rights in general or women specifically. But otherwise, I just want to congratulate Angote. We've worked with her very closely in civil society.
Add to what my colleagues are saying, I think you've impressed all of us by your responses. But let me just ask you a quick one. You're coming at a time when there's a lot of conversation on climate change. How would you foster collaboration between UNEP state parties to achieve meaningful progress?
First, when I look at this opportunity, I see three areas of priority. At the start of the assignment upon your humble approval. And first, it will be to champion environmental diplomacy. Champion Kenya as a hub on environmental diplomacy. And the reason I say this is not only because over 50 years we have been a host to the United Nations Environment Program, but it is also that we really need to scale up our capacities and particularly the capacities of our negotiators under the multilateral environmental agreements. But also, what is very critical, like I had said earlier, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members, is that we need, we would need to support the strengthening of the use, harnessing the capacities, both technical and scientific, that exist within our country through some of the research institutes, the academia that we mentioned, and that would help us to be on a trajectory of being an authoritative thought leadership hub for the country and for the region and for the globe on matters environment. The other one is the strengthening of the partnership between the United Nations Environment Program and strengthening the partnership between UNEP and Kenya. And how is that? Of course, we have an existing partnership, but Kenya now has through His Excellency the President, Dr. William Ruto, very determined commitments on climate action. We want to restore environment restoration, for example, 15 billion trees in 10 years. These are very determined plan. These are very determined plan on our climate action. And so it would be very important to strengthen the partnership so that we are working hand in hand with UNEP to even understand our financial needs, including those in our counties, and our priorities to support that. Honorable Chairman, honorable members of the committee, thank you. I come to you at this point with a great sense of responsibility, a great sense of humility, but also a great sense of duty. Our world is at crossroads, faced with enormous and unprecedented environmental challenges, which threaten almost our entire livelihood, our entire being. And Kenya, with its rich biodiversity, our country with our diverse ecosystems and conservation heritage, we stand as the voice of hope and the beacon of hope in matters of fighting environmental degradation. And we have done it as a country. We have stewarded, we have done stewardship in areas of reform when it comes to matters environment. Look at our renewable energy innovations, for example. Look at our community-based nature resource management, for example. My predecessors are part of the people who have made an environment case, as a business case for Kenya. But yet, we still have very serious problems on environment, including, climate change, pollution, biodiversity loss. And one of the things that is very critical is that they are dilapidated. I'm sure you feel the heat, you feel the droughts, you feel all the calamities that are caused by climate change. So what would be my role? I would be the voice for this noble duty, to be able to work in partnership with line ministries, seeking guidance from the capital, His Excellency the President, together with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to be able to redouble our efforts, to strengthen our partnerships, and to raise resources to be able to help us to deal with the issues arising from the climate change. I will work tirelessly, Honorable Chair, honorable members, alongside yourself in partnership with our line ministries, departments, and agencies, and of course, through the United Nations Environment Program support and strengthening to be able to realize the ambitious plan that we have as a country. And our president, for example, being the chair of the Africa Heads of States and Government on Climate Change, as well as having championed the environmental agenda and a collective action by Africa, it would be an opportunity for me to make him, our country, and our people of Kenya proud in matters environmental protection, conservation, and management. I thank you.
You have demonstrated utmost professionalism, eloquence, and understanding of the field that you've been nominated. You have definitely not been a letdown to the appointing authority. This committee, even with the vetting, I'm sure you've noticed, many of my colleagues are almost to the affirmative without saying. But we've had nominees before, and I hope many of them are watching, who've come before this committee. And without being prejudicial to them, they have really not taken their assignment very seriously. It's not that they are not competent, they just did not take their assignment seriously. You have taken your assignment extremely seriously. It has been impressive. I'm very proud of you. This country is proud of you, and I'm sure you have a big future. God bless you and have a good afternoon.